Hey everyone, if you're watching this, then you need a little more clarification from the blog post, or you've stumbled across the video and are interested in learning how to use the basic Fibonacci tools offered by TradingView. So, without too much, let's jump in and check out some of these tools real quick. So, if you don't or you're not already familiar with TradingView, just a quick few things that might help you out. This hamburger menu, you can enable disable drawings panel there. In order to get a favorites bar here, just go in to find, this is where your fib tools are going to be located here in this third section down of your drawing panel. Again, in Fibonacci tools. You can find the fib retracement tool, which has the 4 lines and the 2 anchor points. You can click add to favorites and you will start building a favorites toolbar over here. So in order to draw the fib retracement tool, you have to have it selected. It'll be highlighted blue here and here. If you selected it by mistake, right click, deselects it. So selected. For this one here, we're going to be measuring the retracement of a bearish move. So you're going to want to measure whichever swing high and swing low, swing high that you're looking at. There's not going to be any one way to do this, but just make sure that the way you do it is consistent with your trading strategy and it produces consistent results. So I believe most people, myself included, like to use the extreme highs and lows. So you're going to include the wicks in your drawing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure this move here, swing high to swing low. And we're going to see what the retracement was on this one. So if you have your crosshairs, I believe they're default enabled. In fact, I couldn't find a place to disable them, so it may not even be possible. But you know, you can definitely modify your crosshairs in appearance. Right here, you can change what line it is, what color, all that good stuff. Okay, so with the fib, you're going to start with your anchor point, your starting point for your impulse move, whatever move it is that you're looking to research the fib on. You're going to do one left click to set the first anchor point. And I'd like to do it off to the side so that way I can definitely see, because if you move your crosshairs over the wick, which I'm looking right here at this wick, it makes it kind of hard to see if you're accurately on the price. So I like to move it off the side, get it accurate on the price. One left click, you're going to bring it down to your swing low. And you can tell the further away the anchor point, the second anchor point is from the first one, the longer the level lines are going to be. So you can stretch it out as long as you like. And just, I'm trying to anchor it right here to the wicks of this candle right here. So I can bring it out here and see the full retracement pattern. And one left click there. And you can see it defaults. I believe it defaults. I've messed with this so much I'm not even exactly sure what the defaults are anymore, but I believe it defaults with the 382, 618, 786 retracement levels, possibly the 0 and 100%. So that's something I want to cover. So 0 means 0 retracement. That means in this move, obviously in a bearish move, you have to have a bullish move to be considered a retracement. So if there is no bullish move, there is no retracement. That's what 0 is, 0% retracement. Your 1 is going to be your 100% move. So that means that is 100% retracement of the initial move. So if it makes it all the way back up to the 1, it's retraced 100%. You can see that price here showed a little reaction around the 382, jumped up, showed reaction to the 618. Again, bounced off the 382, coming the other way, and made it up to the 786 and is heading back down. So you can see price, regardless of where you put it, is going to find its way to fibs at some point or another. Not always. Sometimes it'll blow straight through it, but a lot of times you will see respected moves. It doesn't always indicate a significant move, but you'll see it definitely affected. One other thing here, something that kind of got me in the beginning was a 1 point, I should say something larger than a 1 on this scale here on this drawing. So the other tool we're going to get into is the extension tool. So I was always thinking, you know, anything over 1 is an extension, and it was confusing me because the next tool draws the extension completely opposite of this one. So if you have a 1.618 here, it's going to draw it on the complete opposite side as your extension tool, and that was my just misunderstanding of what they do, but if you see, if I included the 1618, it's going to put it above here because that is a 1.618 retracement, which is obvious because it's a retracement tool of that move A to B. So this is your A move, your A point down to your B point, your swing high, swing low, however you want to say it, but the retracement is measured off that move. So if it moves 1.618 times past it from 0 up here, that's a 1.618 retracement. Okay, so one thing that I did want to mention too, you can change color, opacity, all that good stuff of the lines so you can keep it organized. You do have to have the drawing selected to be able to do this. You can go in here under style and you can have the trend line active. You can select the thickness of it. This will select the thickness of the trend line, which you can see poking out right here. That's your A to B move, the one that's measuring. That's your measured move here. You can also increase the level lines, as you can see behind it. Thickens those a little bit, the style of it. Now here's the important part: is you can customize your levels here. So if you don't want the 382, deselect it. If you don't want the 618, deselect it. If you don't want the 786, so you get what I'm trying to say. A lot of times I don't like to use the 0 or the 1, just because I like to see the levels themselves, but they could be helpful. Another cool thing is that these are not set into stone, so any of these can be changed at any time. So if you want a 1.5 retracement extension, you can just type it in there, select it, and automatically does the math for you, which is really cool. I know I've had to do it with some inverse fib levels that aren't available default, but you can also, let's see, you can extend the lines. It will extend it infinitely all the way to the right side of your chart, regardless of where they start from. You can reverse the whole thing. It'll flip the levels. You can, right here, these indicators, you can get rid of the levels. You can get rid of the price. You can have the price, levels, and percentages, whatever it is that you may want. The labels here, this is going to be the orientation labels, so you can go left, you can go center, you can go right, you can go top, middle, or bottom. It's personal preference, however you want it. No wrong answers. Here you can see is the box around the entire drawing. You can select the opacity. I prefer it to be completely transparent, but if you do start drawing multiple fib levels and you have them all looking the same, you're going to get really confused really quick, because you're not going to be able to tell which lines are for which trend line. So I suggest mixing it up a little bit when you change, or when you add more fib tools or fib drawings to your chart. Let's see. So one thing I did mention in the blog is that you can measure the retracements of anything, large or small. Doesn't matter what it is. Retracements of retracements. What I mean by that is this entire move here is a retracement that we were just measuring of this move. But as you can see here, it has some ebbs and flows itself, so you could even measure those retracements as well. So you can go all the way up to the max, and now you can see already how confusing it may be with the labels and the levels, how they get in the way. But you can see even this last bit of price right here, the price action right here, retraced exactly to the 382 level and started to bounce off. So you can see how a matrix of Fibonacci tools can be either useful, confusing, insightful, however you end up making it. So right now I would say it's a little bit more confusing because they're all the same colors. There's a good chance to show you can change it. I like to use black and red, even though this is blue, but I prefer black and red. Let's see, it's even a good idea to bump the opacity a bit just to give it a little bit more contrast. So as you can see here, useful to use multiple fib drawings to check out to see what price action is doing. Also useful to mix up the coloration of them so you can tell them apart. Now even more, you can even go on the big level here and see what this entire retracement is of this bigger move. Well, it hasn't gotten anywhere. But the cool thing is, there's no wrong answers. You can draw fib upon fib upon fib. If you can make sense of what it's telling you, then by all means, knock yourself out. Just make sure that you have it planned, you understand what it is that you're looking at, and are able to make effective trades by utilizing this information. All right, so I think that's enough with the retracement. Let's jump over to the extension tool. Oh, here we go. So if you read the blog, then you're familiar with this. This was included in the blog as a little bit of a demonstration of what the extension tool does. So I'm going to add it to my favorites. It's in the same section of the drawing panel here. So we're going to look for the trend-based fib extension. Go ahead and add it to favorites so it pops up down here. Now, the trend-based fib extension, I think that if you're new to it and you hear fibs, you automatically say or think retracement. That's how I was, at least. I don't know, maybe I'm alone in that, but fibs aren't always only used in retracements. They're used in extensions as well. And what we can see here is that this tool measures extensions by utilizing Fibonacci ratios in projecting a potential target for an extension on a trend. So a trending move, A, B, C, D, you have to have those 3 points in order to establish a trend. So, close below B, definitely have a trend, but where's it going to go? You can use the fib extensions to kind of project where that price potentially may go. So the way the tool is used, and I have one drawn already here in blue. This is a little trick that I use. I don't know if it's necessarily a trick or if I'm just a little bit slow and I need a little bit of help, but I wasn't sure exactly which way to draw it at first. Because I know some coaches will teach you about inverse, fib inversions and all that good stuff. But the standard tool to project the move and the trend is to just, if it's trending down, your drawing is going to go from top to bottom. So in the direction of where your projection is going to end up being. So I'm trying to make a projection for a continuation on a bearish trend. Therefore, my number or my level that I'm expecting to see should be below it. So in order to do that, you're going to want to start at the top of your swing high, set your anchor point once with the left click, draw it down to the most extreme prices down at the bottom, which it would be right here in the drawing of our, because technically when we're doing this stuff, none of these parts of price are going to actually be established yet. So we want to take the most established low prices of this swing move, one more click, and now this is the part where you get to bring it back up and establish the length of your extension level lines. So like I said in the blog, it has to be lateral from point 1, which means that it can be on this horizontal line, anywhere along the line that you want your numbers to end up. But just make sure, that's why having the crosshairs is nice. So if you want it way over here, if it's a large move, you need a lot of room, you can bring it all the way over here and still line it up perfectly with the top of the swing high. And one more left click, that sets your extension levels down here. So right now I currently have 1618, 1414, 1.272. I feel you'll find those are the common ones that are used, but again, if you're only dealing in 1618, you can come into the settings, disable the 414 and the 272, and you get your extension price. This was just to show that the math all works out correctly. So if this is 100% of the move, this many pips, then if you multiply 198 by 1.618, you end up with this amount, which equals this level right here. So I believe that's about it. One other thing I did mention in the blog that I wanted to make sure I got into the video is, if at all, if retracements kind of throw you off with the trend-based fib tool, if you feel like it has something to do with the retracement, just don't worry about it. It does not. So, and I can show you this by here. So this BC move is the retracement. I never clicked anywhere on this move right here. Never factored the retracement into the drawing of the tool, so I can tell you that it does affect the length of CD. So the 1618 extension of AB is always going to be right here. If this is your established AB move, it does not matter where C is. In order for D to complete here at the 1618 extension level, it needs to make that entire trip all the way down here. So if C retraces even past point A and ends up way up here, it still needs to come all the way down to this level in order to meet that 1.618 extension. So as you can see, that's a much longer move than if price had only retraced back up into here. So just keep that in mind. Don't worry about the retracement. Worry about what your trading strategy tells you to do. Make sure you're accurate and always following your rules. If you have any further questions, let us know. I know this video is running a little bit longer than I intended, but that's okay. Feel free to ask us anywhere you can find us. Instagram, on the website, here in TradingView. We're just about anywhere you can find traders. Go ahead and feel free to leave comments here on the YouTube video, and we'll get back to you. So thank you for watching.